Morning, y'all. It's me, Bug Out. It's cold. It's cold. It's cold. Anyhow, I'm gonna make some comments on a video that I watched just a little while ago. I think it's very important. We need to break this down and show it for what it is, not on the channel that's reporting this, but on the actual information that they're reporting on and how it affects all of us. So, let me see if I can get this here thing going. Hold on a minute. Other phone's acting stupid.
I'm going to give you a glimpse into an investigation that's ongoing here by the Federal Bureau of Investigation, where a Middle Tennessee man was just arrested because he was planning on going down to the U.S.-Mexico border along with militias from 4 other states, where he was going to be a sniper to kick something off and hopefully start a domino effect in a confrontation with Border Patrol. Yeah, I'm going to show you some of the stuff from the report that I got this morning, and this should be eye-opening to some of y'all. And I want you to, why I'm doing this is I want you to see how this came to be. It started with an investigation in a totally different state, and they used phone records to connect this guy to that first person they were investigating. They put in some undercover people and eventually gave him enough rope to where he hung himself. Check this out. I want y'all to understand.
Now watch how they got in contact with each other, or how they infiltrated him. Okay, watch how they did that. And just know that they will get your phone information and you don't even know it. Your laptop information and you won't even know it. Okay? Thank you, Patriot Act. Anyway, so listen very carefully to the reading of the indictment. It speaks volumes. Okay, here we go.
How things work with investigations. I know many of you understand this already, but this probably has several investigations now into members of those other militias as well. Here's the criminal complaint. It's the case is United States of America versus Paul Fay Sr. We'll start with the probable cause. Brian Perry is an individual charged in case number 222 CR 04065, pending in the Western District of Missouri with various violent federal felonies. Based upon a review of Perry's cell phone seized during that investigation, Perry had extensive contact with Fay leading up to Perry's arrest in Missouri.
Probable
Specifically,
cause.
Fay expressed a desire to travel with Perry and another individual to the U.S.-Mexico border and commit acts of violence. In March of 2023, the FBI introduced Undercover Employee 1, UCE1, to Fay via TikTok. After exchanging direct messages via TikTok,
see, they infiltrated him through TikTok. So, I'm going to take a guess, just a wild guess, and say that even this platform is not conducive for the American people to hear and stay and do and enforce their constitutional rights. They're looking, they're searching, they're picking through little tidbits of crumbs of information that we may post or whatever, and they go with that. All they need is probable cause. That's it. They don't need anything else but to say, I wonder if they're doing something illegal. That's probable cause. That's it. So keep this in mind.
Fay provided Undercover Employee 1 with his phone number for further communication. The phone number provided and used for all subsequent recorded phone calls described below was a Samsung cell phone using number blah blah blah. I'm not putting it out here. On or about April 1st of 23, UCE1 and 2 other undercover employees, 2 and 3, met with Fay in person along with Fay's 2 sons. During that meeting, Faye inquired if the undercover employees were federal law enforcement. After confirming that the UCEs were not law enforcement, Faye...
Okay, they've come at him on social media as like-minded individuals. It wasn't one, but they put 3 on him. 3 at the same time. And they've exchanged phone numbers, which gave them access to his, just open access to his phone. Technically, it's open access. I give you my number, and if you want to hack into my phone, well, I gave you my number. So, hey, it's on you. Okay? So you got to think about these kind of things. And they're telling us their playbook. Okay? They're telling us how they go about doing it. This investigation was a year started prior to him being arrested and everything. So they're in for the slow, trying to get as many as they can. All right? You can't undermine the gall. Now granted, I don't advocate going down there and starting some shit just to start some shit. We got enough shit going on, okay? But what I am saying is this. Besides that initial little piece of information, watch how they infiltrate and find out more. Now, there's 4 militias that are supposedly involved in this now because of this one dude was in touch with these other militias. All right? Now, watch how this spirals. Okay? It's going to grow. Watch this.
Discussed his belief the government was training to take on its citizens, and more specifically that the federal government was allowing illegal immigrants to enter the United States to help the government. Faye went on.
Okay, that statement right there that he just made, how many of us actually believe that? I believe that. So does that put me in the same category as Faye? Because I do believe that the federal government is allowing this illegal invasion into our country. My gosh, look at this shit. They're offering them citizenship in order for them to go into the military. You're going to give somebody who don't even give a shit about coming to the country legally in the first fucking place a fucking gun to use against its own people that the United States paid for? Come the fuck on. So let's continue to watch this shit, okay? Because if this don't catch your attention, I don't think nothing will. And I think the time for any of these types of platforms or any type of cellular or electronic communication is coming to an end. Okay? That's the only way it's going to have to be. You're not going to be able to use anything that they can tap into easily. That's why I'm advocating for the Pony Express. Check this out.
To discuss his tactical training and weapons he had in his possession. During this interaction, which was audio recorded, UCE-2 observed a photograph on Faye's phone which showed a 6.5 Creedmoor rifle with what appeared to be a suppressor fixed to the end. Prior to this incident, the FBI conducted a check of the National Firearm Registration and Transfer Record for Paul Faye Sr. on or about December 20th of 22. Faye had not registered a suppressor with the NFRTR as required at that time. On or about May 11th, 2023, UCE-1 conducted a recorded phone call in which Faye discussed the need to train with the undercover employees in person prior to traveling to the international border between the United States and Mexico. Specifically, Faye stated, "The Patriots are going to rise up because we are being invaded. We are being invaded." As far as gear,
Okay, alright. That undercover FBI agent recorded the conversation, and the man believed that he was having a decent conversation with him, saying that, they needed to train before they go down there. Nothing wrong with that. There's everybody goes to the gun range and trains. Okay? There's nothing wrong with that. And his statement saying that we are being invaded has now been spun to a crazy lunacy conspiracy theory. Okay, you see what they're trying to do here? They're trying to turn the narrative. They're trying to turn the tide because it's turning in opposition to them pretty strong right now. So they got to pick out and find these little crumbs to support their disinformation and their propaganda. Okay? He's on to something here. We're all on to something here. We know we are being invaded by illegals. Okay? So there's nothing wrong with that statement at all. Watch how this continues to go on, okay?
I probably got enough extra to get you by, if need be, and then we can pick you up some as we go. Hell, there are going to be some laying around, after a little while. Now, this statement, based on my training and experience, indicated that Faye believed there would be deceased individuals from whom the undercover employee could recover equipment. During a recorded phone call in which he was...
Okay. Based on the agent's experience, his open-ended statement, which he did not finish, he didn't elaborate, he didn't glorify, he didn't go into detail. All he said is there'll be a lot of them laying around. They took that small little statement as open. It could mean anything could be laying around, but they're saying that he implied that there'd be illegals and military or whatever else will be down there where they could just pick their guns up because they're going to be dead. Okay, so they finished the story for him. You see what I'm saying? They finished that story. He never actually said it. He implied it. Now, when does implying something constitute the actual activity of following through with it? At this point, they're not there yet. They're not there. Okay? It's all speculation right now. It's just based on his words so far. Okay? That's it. That's all we've got is words so far. That's it. You see how they're doing this?
CE1 called Faye on or about May 12 of 2023. Faye discussed the need for UCE1 to obtain a ballistic plate carrier and stated, if you can't find them, I'm pretty sure there's going to be some laying around after a while. You follow me? This statement, based on my training and experience, indicated that Faye believed there would be deceased individuals from whom the undercover employee could recover ballistic plate carrier. Similar previous statements were made by Perry to undercover employee 1, in which he stated equipment such as night vision goggles could be obtained from deceased Border Patrol agents. Additionally, when UCE1 asked what was needed at the international border between the U.S. and Mexico, Faye stated, the main thing is tactical gear. You need gas masks.
Okay. So in Faye's mind, he's going all the way with it. That if this is to occur, that these are ways that you will possibly be able to pick up gear. Which everybody knows that. Okay? Everybody knows that. Now, I'm not, like I said, again, I'm not saying come down here and start some shit. We don't need no more shit. We got to try and handle it the best way we can legally and go from there. All right? But with me just saying, eventually, something is going to happen and it's going to pop off. And 9 times out of 10, the whole thing is orchestrated. And this indictment may very well be orchestrated because no one has talked to Faye that I know of. No one has been able to really find out, is all this actually true? Or is this a propagandist move on the FBI to light the fuse to disrupt and possibly stop something as far as American people standing up for the rights? Okay? They're going to label us all freaking crazies and lunatics and fanatics if we believe any of this stuff that is being said. Okay? They're putting us all in the same group as this Faye dude. Okay? Because none of us done anything wrong. We just speaking our mind. We're doing our constitutional right, freedom of speech. But watch how this unfolds. It's just crazy, okay? It's got my mind going all kinds of ways.
Need gas masks and stuff. They are going to put gas out. I can guarantee that. During the same conversation, on or about May 12th of 23, Undercover Employee 1 inquired about law enforcement presence at the border, to which Faye responded, "There are ways to deter that, and that's where I come in. That's the training I'm going to give you all." On or about August 31st, 23, Undercover Employee 1 conducted a recorded phone call with Faye, and during that phone call, Faye stated he was gathering up a few things that go boom, boom, boom when you want them to. That it was time to step things up, and I have a few things that go bang and go fast, if you know what I mean. Based on my training and experience, I understand this statement to mean Faye was referring to explosives and or guns and ammunition. Faye advised Undercover Employee 1 they need to get together in person as soon as possible. During a recorded phone call with Undercover Employee 1 on or about November 27, 23, Faye indicated he met Person 1. According to Faye, Person 1 was from North Carolina and had previously traveled to the U.S. border with Mexico, specifically the Eagle Pass, Texas area, with members of his militia group, the North Carolina Patriot Party, and planned.
Okay, so now North Carolina's been implicated in this federal domestic terrorist suit. That's exactly what this is, okay? And with this indictment. So now we've got North Carolina in the bullseye based on this one individual. Okay? So watch, it grows. It grows. So North Carolina, you better watch your backs, darling.
Travel back to the border on or about January 20, 2024. During the call, UCE1 asked, "Are we going to go to work? Are we going down there to put eyes on? Or are we going down there to do work?" To which Faye responded, "No, we're going to work. We're going to work. I'll get more detail with you. Before then, we will get together in person. I'll take a ride over there to see you or whatever." Based on my training experience and knowledge of the investigation, when UCE1 discussed doing work versus putting eyes on, UCE1 was asking Faye if they were planning to travel to the border for the purpose of conducting acts of violence or to conduct surveillance. Faye's response of, "We're going to work."
Okay. Where does this question come into play? Acts of violence or surveillance? What is the difference? He could have very well said, "I'm going down there under surveillance, but I'm taking all my knowledge and my training and what I know and what I do with me." Okay? But they're not going to let it stop right there. They're more looking into he's going to do some acts of violence. Okay? Now, he just sat there and told him that he's an ammunitions man. You know? That he's got training and all that. That he's highly skilled, this, that, and the other. What does that have to do with anything? I can tell you any fucking thing, but it's until I do those actual actions that if they are illegal, then I will be held accountable. Okay? When is it I just can't say what I want to say? You see what I'm getting at? Watch. This sets me on fire right here.
I believe indicate Faye is stating he is planning to conduct acts of violence. On or about December 14th of 23, UCE1 conducted an in-person meeting with Faye. UCE1 later relayed the substance of that meeting to law enforcement. During the meeting, Faye discussed coordinating with militia groups from Kentucky, Georgia, North Carolina, and Tennessee. Faye discussed plans for traveling to the border and how he planned to transport explosive devices to the border without law enforcement detection. Faye advised Undercover Employee 1 that he needed to meet with an individual he referred to as Alpha and stated, "I'll tell you this right now, the guy Alpha, I gotta go see him. I'm probably gonna try and go see him this weekend. He can make it. Like I said, he can put stuff together. He can go under the kitchen sink and come out with napalm." Faye explained to UCE1 that his hope is to, quote, "stir up the hornet's nest at the border so that others will come in to provide further support." Specifically, Faye stated, "Well, I'm going to tell you something right now. What's going to happen, what I hope happens, is called a domino effect. I want the news to find out about it, the right kind of news." Faye also discussed how to seal compartments in vehicles they were traveling in so that law enforcement would need a search warrant to access them. Specifically, While standing by Faye's vehicle, Faye stated, "I'm going to put a bed cover on the back of it, something I can slide stuff in. Because see, let me tell you something. You should start thinking like this. You got something laying in the back of your truck, cop pulls you over and he can look in. He knows right then. But if you got it locked in, sealed it..."
And this is a very good point that Faye is making. That it's not, you're not able to transport, explosives across state lines. All right, unless you have some type of federal license, and we know that they all come from a manufacturer, distribution center, from all over the country and the world. So there's ways that you can get licensed to do that kind of stuff, all right, but not for individuals, all right. Now the other thing is on the concealment. It makes sense that he would say to put a cover on there, and you need a lock on there as well, because it is open and they can look in there and they don't need a search warrant for it. And really, because of they're doing under probable cause, they don't need a search warrant either. Okay? Because once they pull that vehicle over or interested in that one vehicle under probable cause, and you deny them the right to even search the cab of the vehicle, much less the back where it's locked up, you're going to sit there and they're going to get a judge up and they're going to wake the judge up and he's going to give them the warrant that they need over the speakerphone or over the radio, or through teletype or smoke signals. However the fuck they gonna get it, they gonna get it quickly. And you're going to be detained. Okay, so that really doesn't hold a whole lot of water as far as your rights go, because they will get the search warrant with you standing right there, and they will tear that vehicle apart and let you put it back together if they don't find nothing. I'm just saying. So, yeah, you gotta really, really think on that, Darn it, the phone went back off again. I gotta get back in there, y'all. I'm sorry.
Sealed in, open it without a search warrant. But if he sees it in the back of your truck, Faye reported that one of his roles within the group traveling to the border was to serve as a sniper, and that his talent was sending rounds downrange. Based on my training and experience in this investigation, I believe the phrase "sending rounds downrange" means that Faye specifically, or contribution to the mission, will be shooting at other individuals while at the border. During the conversation about Faye's role as a sniper, Faye stated, "I'll be the first one on scene and the last one to leave. The reason why I say this is if something, just say that we were going down like that, before you even put yourself in danger, I would be on top of that roof right there, zeroing out, taking out anybody. And then as y'all coming out, I'm going to be taken out." Additionally, during the in-person meeting with UCE-1 on or about December 14th, 23, Faye indicated he was in possession of tannerite, which he stated could be easily converted into claymore mines. Faye advised UCE-1 that he stationed butane tanks around his property, so in the event law enforcement arrived, he could use the tanks as booby-trap explosive devices. During the same conversation, Faye mentioned that he had a guy in Cookeville, Tennessee, who could make improvised explosive devices. Law enforcement conducted a check of the National Firearm Registration and Transfer Record for Paul Faye Sr. on or about January 8th, 24. Faye had not registered any firearm controlled by the National Firearms Act with the NFRTR as required. During the same conversation, the UCE-1 asked about a suppressor for an AK-47, and Faye stated he would provide one to UCE-1 and that it did not have a tax stamp on it. Based on my training and experience, the reference to a suppressor without a tax stamp refers to the possession of a suppressor that violates the National Firearms Act, Title 26, United States Code, Section 5861. Based on my training and experience, Faye disclosed to UCE-1 that the suppressor he was going to provide UCE-1 did not have a tax stamp because Faye was alluding to the fact that the suppressor would not be known to the government or registered in the National Firearms Registration and Transfer Record. On or about January 11th of 24, UCE-1 and 2 conducted an in-person meeting with Paul Faye at his residence, which is located at, and I'm not putting it out there, After entering Faye's residence, Faye showed the UCEs his war room, which consisted of numerous firearms, a large amount of ammunition, radios, and a bulletproof vest. Faye invited the UCEs to hold numerous firearms, to include a Creedmoor rifle, multiple AR-15 rifles, and a shotgun. Additionally, while inside Faye's trailer, UCEs observed numerous other firearms. During this meeting, Faye discussed the plan to travel to the U.S.-Mexico border and indicated the...
All right, y'all. What they're implying is that he had a whole bunch of firearms. Why would one individual want a whole bunch of firearms? Well, it's his right. It's his constitutional right. It don't say you can only have one. You can have 5 million if you want, and you can afford it. Okay? You see how this is reading out? Watch this. It's crazy, man.
Desire to commit acts of violence. Later in the meeting, UCE-1 showed Faye the AK-47 they had previously discussed. Faye then produced the suppressor he had previously described to UCE-1, and UCE-1 purchased the suppressor from Faye for $100. And that, my friends, is how they got him. The suppressor provided by Faye to UCE-1 did not have any manufacturer markings or serial number, which means it cannot be registered in the NFRTR. On January 11th of 24, photographs of the unmarked silencer, also known as a suppressor, was sent to the ATF FAT-D Firearms Enforcement Officer for initial preliminary review. The ATF FEO reviewed the photographs of the silencer and determined it to be consistent in size, shape, and configuration with all the other silencers he previously encountered as an FEO. The silencer in this case is a firearm as defined within the National Firearms Act under Title 26 U.S. Code 5845 Bravo, as it is a silencer. Silencer is defined as any combination of parts designed or redesigned and intended for use in assembling or fabricating a firearm silencer or firearm muffler. Furthermore, on January 12, 24, an ATF Interstate Nexus expert physically inspected the silencer. The ATF Interstate Nexus expert determined the silencer did not have the markings as required under NFA, such as the serial number, the location of the manufacturer, or the firearm manufacturer. Based on the foregoing facts, your affiant submits there is probable cause to believe that Paul Faye Sr. committed the offense of possessing, selling, or transferring a firearm not registered on the ATF's National Firearms Registration and Transfer Record in violation of Title 26 U.S.C. Section 5841, 5861, and 5871.
See, they didn't have nothing else on him besides that.
Maximum of 10 years in federal prison, maximum of $250,000 fine. But it shows you what some folks were planning on doing. I wanted to put that out there. There have been many people who have said that with everything going on at the border, that there could be another January type moment at the, where people are lured in to do the wrong thing so that the spotlight can and the full force of the federal law enforcement officials can be put on those groups. And it looks like they were maybe going to utilize militias to do that. Why? To maybe make militias look bad so that they could maybe get rid of militias? I don't know. What say you? What do you think about this investigation? 4 states' militias were allegedly wrapped up in this, so when I tell you that you haven't seen the end of this, you haven't seen the end of this investigation. So I just wanted to bring this to your attention, especially since this guy lived in Middle Tennessee, and it involved people from not too far in either direction from where I am in Tennessee. Crazy stuff, guys and gals. Crazy stuff is going on, and I think the government can stop what's going on at the border at the drop of a hat, yet they don't. Let me know what y'all think down below. Just wanted to bring this investigation to you so you can see what's actually going on out there. My name is Jared. If you love the Second Amendment and want to be kept in the loop with what's going on in every state, no matter what it is, from litigation, lawsuits, to legislation, bills, and laws, I will bring that to you every day. Subscribe to the channel down below. It's free. All it does is help support the channel.
All right. So you see what I'm talking about. It's, we ain't seen the end of this, just like Jared said. And, due diligence. And that's all I can tell you. The time's coming. This is not going to work no more. Okay? Yeah. Other forms of communication. Not cell phone or email. Come on, people. Or text messages. Come on, people. Keep on prepping. Keep your head on a swivel. God bless Texas.